This is a message from the Pennsylvania Emergency Alert System, issued at 10:46 p.m. Eastern Time. This is not a test. The following message is being issued for Adams County and surrounding areas, including Gettysburg. Authorities are responding to a series of unusual disturbances occurring across the Gettysburg National Military Park and surrounding neighborhoods. Reports include distant drumbeats and marching sounds with no visible source. Fog banks rolling in from the south, with sulfuric or smoky odors. Sightings of men in Civil War uniforms walking along closed roads and across fields. These individuals are not affiliated with any scheduled reenactments, and attempts to approach them have resulted in the figures vanishing. Park rangers have temporarily closed the battlefield grounds, including all monuments, visitor centers, and historical roads. Law enforcement is advising residents to remain indoors after dark and avoid all wooded areas near the park. If you observe any strange individuals in outdated military uniforms, do not engage. Record from a distance and contact local authorities. Do not attempt to enter fog-heavy areas, especially near Little Round Top, the Peach Orchard, Devil's Den or the High Water Mark. At this time, there is no known threat to public safety. This alert is issued as a precautionary advisory. Further information will be provided as authorities investigate. Stay tuned to local news outlets and official bulletins. This is an emergency alert from the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency. This is not a test. Earlier today, during an unsanctioned Civil War reenactment held near Seminary Ridge, participants and bystanders were caught in what officials are calling a severe mass hysteria event. Eyewitnesses reported gunfire with no blanks fired, smoke trails and cannon blasts from locations with no visible equipment. Figures in Union and Confederate uniforms appearing and disappearing at will. Reenactors dropping their weapons and running, some claiming they were being charged from the tree line by men with hollow eyes and black powder rifles. Casualty report: 11 reenactors are missing. 7 more were hospitalized for burns and blunt force trauma. One bystander claimed his father was dragged into the fog by men yelling in 19th century accents. Footage from nearby phones and drones shows uniforms that do not match any modern reenactment units, and some faces appear partially skeletal or completely unrecognizable. Current advisory: stay away from all reenactment sites. Do not enter the fields after sunset. If you hear marching, drums, or distant gunfire, do not investigate. If fog is visible on your street, stay inside and avoid windows. This may no longer be a matter of human interference. Officials are coordinating with historians, spiritual researchers, and the National Guard. They're not here to relive the past. They're here to finish it.
This is DJ Mike at WGB 927.3, Gettysburg's home for classic country. We've cut music because we're under attack. Not from any army you've ever seen, this is something else. The fog's gotten thicker. The cannon blasts, they're real. They're outside our station. I can see a line of them. Ready, fire. They're both here. Union and Confederate. Together. Shoulder to shoulder. You heard me right. The blue and the gray, they're not fighting each other. They're fighting us. One of the techs tried to drive out of town. He didn't even make it past the battlefield. His car melted from the heat of a cannonball, a ghost cannonball. That doesn't even make sense. I think they're angry. Not just at us, but at everything. The buildings, the tourists, the souvenirs, the sacred ground we paved over. One of them looked at me. He didn't speak, just raised his bayonet. I don't think we're meant to survive this.
Tread where we bled, you'll kneel with the dead.
To anyone still out there, They're not reenactors. They're not spirits. They're soldiers. And Gettysburg is a battlefield again. ... And there's no surrender flag this time. Hello. Can anyone hear this? This is James Holiday. I don't know if this is working. I broke into one of the emergency broadcast centers downtown. They left the door open. Everyone's gone. If you're hearing this, I need you to listen. Gettysburg is under attack. And I don't mean that metaphorically. The ghosts, they're real. Union, Confederate, side by side. They're here. And they're killing everyone. I watched a woman try to wave a white flag. They shot her anyway. There's no mercy. They don't care who you are. They don't care about your side. We're just invaders to them. I grew up here. My dad used to take me to the Monument Trail. I never thought the people in those statues would ever come back down from them. ... Horses. They're here. If you're in town, I don't know what to tell you anymore. You can't run. You can't fight them. Just maybe you can hide. Maybe you can pray. If anyone out there still has control of this system, please shut it all down. Just let the dead have their battlefield back.
EAS is an emergency alert from the Maryland Emergency Management Agency. This is not a test. As of 4:29 p.m., multiple reports of paranormal activity and unexplained violence have emerged from Lake Mead and surrounding residential areas. These reports include apparitions of armed soldiers in outdated military uniforms marching through suburban neighborhoods, loud cannon blasts and musket fire despite no physical source being found, sudden formation of dense fog, followed by the appearance of shadowy figures, electronic malfunctions, power outages, and vehicles stalling when near active sites. Witnesses have described the figures as both Union and Confederate, armed and coordinated in their movements. Civilians have reported hearing marching drums, distant commands like "advance" or "fire on the homes." Chants such as "This land remembers us." Safety instructions: remain indoors after dusk. Do not approach any individuals in historical clothing. If you hear distant gunfire or drums, do not investigate. Avoid looking directly into fog or wooded areas. Many disappearances have occurred this way. Stay away from bodies of water, as phantoms have been seen crossing the lake on spectral horses and long-forgotten boats. This incursion is believed to be directly linked to the events in Gettysburg. The spiritual force appears to be expanding, crossing historical boundaries, and attacking areas built on former Civil War land or troop movement paths. The Maryland National Guard is working with local authorities, but reports indicate that conventional weapons have no effect. These entities do not acknowledge modern speech and seem to respond only to military formations or acts of retreat as provocation. They see our world as an insult. They're here to erase it. This message will repeat every 30 minutes. Stay safe, stay hidden, stay quiet. This is emergency alert transmission issued via request by the Virginia Emergency Management. This is not a test. There have been multiple reports in Yorktown, Virginia, of Civil War soldiers from both Confederate and Union sides attacking civilians. These people are not alive. They are not from a realm. They are specters, ghosts from the battle. These specters have cannons and muskets, and can disappear and reappear at will. They will attack anyone at will, excluding animals. The people in Yorktown are advised to evacuate immediately. This is not a test. This is not a hoax. Follow all the instructions closely. Grab all essential supplies. Do not use vehicles. Military personnel will help you evacuate. For your safety, do not make noise. Do not try and attack the specters. It is dangerous and will do nothing. Thank you for listening to this message. This is emergency transmission issued via request by the United States National Guard for Sharpsburg, Maryland. This is not a test. Please listen carefully for the contents of this message. There have been multiple reports of ghostly military men in Civil War uniforms attacking buildings and people. This phenomenon is relatively new, and has started in Gettysburg. This is said to be a spirit. We have learned the reasoning for these attacks. It seems the spirits are upset that we are forgetting their sacrifice, and are disrespecting them. They also seem disgusted by the way we now live. Due to this is mandatory evacuation warning. Please evacuate immediately. Do not try and engage the spirits. They are aggressive. They are not on anyone's side. The National Guard has had to fall back. Conventional weapons are failing. This is not a normal invasion. This is a supernatural threat. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding. End of alert. This is a presidential alert for the United States of America. The president will speak shortly. Please pay close attention.
Hello, my fellow Americans. Today we have made negotiations with the spirits. I can't even believe I just said that sentence. But it is true. For those who somehow don't know, a few days ago there have been Mamie reports made to the Gettysburg police about paranormal activity. Once thought to be hoaxes were unfortunately found out to be true. These spirits started an uprising and began attacking multiple people and infrastructure. This had spread to multiple Civil War battlefields, and I am saddened to say that hundreds of deaths have been reported. However, after all this, we have made negotiations with the spirits. This brings us new opportunities to learn, understand paranormal. Sometimes not everything can be explained. Sometimes it's paranormal activity, and we were just too blind to see that there is a form of life after death. Thank you for listening to this message. My deepest condolences to the lives that were lost, and all those affected by this, war, if you could even call it that. But maybe, just maybe, there's still a silver lining. We have entered a new era of paranormal investigation and research, and maybe we can prevent something like this from ever happening again. Thank you.